Darrell, what's going on with your what's this? Bayangs now? You gotta change it up sometimes. Erica gonna be here. I heard she gonna bring her boyfriend. How you feel about that? No, for real, how you feel about that? Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all think that Darrell got his hair did because he thought that maybe she might be here today? Hear him in there. I gotta make sure I look right. When she see me, she gonna want to send me some commissary, even though I'm gonna have to give it right up for restitution. But whatever. Hello, everyone. As you can see, we have our precious, precious, precious Darrell in a new color. Hey, Darrell, how you doing? You ain't gonna speak? Okay, be like that. It be like that. That's okay. I know you probably having a bad day. I don't know if Bubba let you sleep last night. He knew you had this important meeting today, and he still just kept you up like that. It's just wrong. He wrong for that. You tell him I said it, okay? If you were in here, go on and hit the like button, please. Just go on and get it out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe if you are not already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Even consider becoming a member. Helps support the channel. Keeps mama here and not there. You know what I'm saying? So back to the basics. Darrell finally, this is just taking forever. Okay? Forever. Darrell, don't you keep me waiting like this no more, okay? Rude. You're rude for no reason, okay? I see you got a new hairdo. Darrell, what is it? Like when you see a baby and it ain't cute, so you're gonna be like, oh, it's so cute. You just be like, oh, look, a baby. Like, Darrell, see, you got your hair did. Look, you did something to it. You gonna pull these two braids over to the side, trying to pull off a comb over again. It's too late for that, Darrell. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just shave off the entire peninsula, okay? We're gonna watch and see what's going on with Darrell. As you can see, he's still in his we'll call it a scooter. He's in his scooter. Vroom vroom. Look at it, say drive on the side. That's as close to driving as you're gonna get. Okay. I see why he likes to be in that thing. Look at their little bony little legs. Did Bubba twist your hair? I'm sorry. Come on, let's get in here. Let's see what's going on. I covered this live. I let it play live, but I came in a little bit late, and I like to be able to react to it. I can't speak while it's live because then you can't hear it. I can just react to it as it goes. Pause and make fun like I like to. You know what I'm saying? High five, Darrell.
All right, thank you.
That's right. Roll over there. You know what I'm saying? Got you an escort. Look at you. Darrell moving up in the world, y'all. Look, he's like, I get chauffeured.
Hi.
Hi, Your Honor. Oh my God. I think Darrell lost his mind. He like, hey girl, how you doing? The audio is messed up. It's not me, it's the thing. He like, hold on, I'm gonna talk to you in a second. Let me just I got this man down here doing this here thing with my shackles. You know what I'm saying, Your Honor?
State of Wisconsin versus Darrell Brooks, 21 CF 4596, 21 CF 502. Appearances.
Matthew Tarbinson and Shelley Grosso appear for the state. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Hello.
Attorney Russell Jones on behalf of Mr. Brooks. Mr. Brooks appears in person. I appear via Zoom. Good afternoon, Judge.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. When Mr. Brooks first got here, my deputies alerted us to the fact that he wanted to speak with Mr. Jones. Given the fact that Mr. Jones is via Zoom and Mr. Brooks is here in person, the way we accommodated that was everyone left the courtroom, including the spectators in the gallery, the person who is here filming for the media, and obviously all the parties and my staff, except for the deputies. For security reasons, of course, they had to stay with Mr. Brooks. So I allowed them to have a conversation. I wasn't paying attention to how much time it was. It might have been, 15, 20 minutes. I allowed Mr. Brooks to have that conversation with Mr. Jones. And then after Mr. Jones alerted the lawyers, I think, and my deputies alerted us, we all came back in. Is that correct, Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we are here for, it was supposed to be a motion hearing and a final pretrial on these matters. They are set for trial on Monday, May 6th, so that's just a couple days from now. At our last date on January 18th, the state indicated they thought they would be filing an amended information and an other acts motion. The defense also thought they may have been filing some motions, so we set this for about 90 minutes. I set deadlines for that all motions were to be filed by March 22nd and 4/19, April 19th for the responses. I will note that nothing has been filed from either side as far as any substantive motions. Motions in limine were filed, I just believe, by the defense, and they appeared to be standard. So there is nothing to proceed on as far as any substantive motions. Do we remain in a trial posture, Mr. Jones?
We do, Judge. And with respect to the motion filings, we're anticipating potentially the state filing, and it would have been a response to the other acts. Presumably, they're not seeking that since they didn't file that. So that's why we had nothing else to file other than our standard motions.
Okay. And nothing from the state?
Correct. I anticipated filing another acts motion. I thought about it. The prejudice hurdle would be extraordinarily high in this particular case.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah, there's going to be lots of prejudice. If you didn't know about Darrell before the last time, then you damn sure know about him this time, okay? Yeah, it's going to be very hard to find you some jury that don't hate Darrell and ain't somewhere celebrating still to this day. To this day, okay? It's going to be hard. I ain't saying impossible. I'm saying hard and impossible.
I gave it more thought, the state didn't anticipate using that other acts because of the prejudicial nature of those other acts unless there was a defense that triggered the high amount of relevancy to those other acts. And I think that would just as likely happen if the door is potentially opened by one of those defenses being argued in this particular trial. And so rather than file the motion, if the defense becomes that this is an accident or some sort, then I may raise the issue at that point. So, but I did not file another acts motion. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So we'll deal with those issues if they arise during trial. Maybe they won't.
Hey, Darrell. Hey, Darrell. Hey, Darrell. I really want to know who did your hair. Who did your hair? I mean, it was definitely a man, for sure. That was a man that did that. He had his fingers in your hair for that long. That's like a whole day's work. It looked like a whole day's work. Darrell said, I'm going to get my dreads back, honey. And they're going to be mine and real this time. What I ain't going to do is have to shave my head constantly because my peninsula is very pronounced. My pronounced peninsula.
Obviously, we have some special issues associated with this case. Jury selection is going to be our biggest hurdle.
He's like, yeah, and I'm already prepared to complain when it don't go my way, about how, it was very prejudiced. Very, very prejudiced. It's impossible for you to find people who don't know who I am. Everybody knows about the Darrell because I'm the Darrell. What do you mean? Nail it, Darrell? I feel like I nailed it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like I nailed it.
I have thought, just on my own, and I don't know if the parties have thought about this. I don't know if anybody would think that a court trial would be a preferable way to go to avoid any of those potential issues that would arise with having a jury and trying to seat a jury with a case that this case is not notorious, but certainly Mr. Brooks's other case is notorious. And we certainly will do our best to seat a fair and impartial jury. But that's just off the top of my head. I think that might be the best way. But of course, Mr. Brooks, that is ultimately his decision on whether it would be a court trial or a jury trial. So I just throw that out there. Nobody's requested that at this point. There has been a request for a jury trial, so we will plan on that. But it is just some food for thought that it may be a way to allow for evidence to be presented.
Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all think that Darrell got his hair did because you think he thought that maybe she might be here today? He was like, let me I got my court trial coming up. I gotta get right. I could hear him in there, trying to crack jokes with these people. Man, she gonna, I gotta make sure I look right. You know what I'm saying? When she see me, she gonna want to send me some commissary, even though I'm gonna have to give it right up for restitution. But whatever. Ain't it right, Darrell? High five. I know I nailed that one. I nailed it.
Presented without the potential tangential issues that would
Uh-huh.
arise with a jury. So that's just something.
Darrell, stop nodding your head like you know what tangential is. Tangential. He like, yeah, that thing. What she talking about? Can I get 3 of those? Sounds delicious. It don't taste nothing like the prison sausage that you used to, Darrell. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's an acquired. That's an acquired taste. You know, he done already got accustomed to the acquired taste of the prison.
Something to think about.
Uh-huh.
In addition to that, if I'm going to go with on the assumption at this point that we are having a jury trial, I have not prepared any written information. I will prepare that over the weekend and give it to the parties, and we can certainly talk about it. But I think we have to address it. No one is going to pretend that we're going to introduce Mr. Brooks and no one's going to know who he is. So obviously it's not going to be, one of the standard questions I asked during voir dire is, has anyone heard anything about this case or about this defendant or had any opinion as to anything?
I'd be like, no, I ain't never heard nothing about him. What's his name again? Darrell, that's a stupid ass name. But no, I ain't never heard nothing about him. Now, please do not check my YouTube channel. If you promise to not check my YouTube channel or my Instagram or anything with my name attached to it, if you don't check none of those things, then yes, indeed, I'm perfect for your jury. I don't know nothing about this piece of shit. Did I say that out loud? My bad. I would love to be on a Darrell jury. Why can't I get a Darrell jury? That would just be the best.
That may foreclose us from seating any of the people that we bring in for voir dire right off the bat, because it was a big deal. The Waukesha case was a big deal. So I will prepare something. Do the parties have thoughts, or do you want to prepare something as well, and we can kind of put something together as far as a preliminary statement to the jurors? I mean, obviously advising them that this needs to be, you will only judge this case on this evidence, and, asking those questions if they can be fair and impartial and put out of their minds anything that they may know about Mr. Brooks. Each side can submit something if they would like. Yeah,
it's going to be hard to convince a jury that he didn't deliberately run over her foot when he deliberately ran over 80-some people, especially when he just lied so terribly about it afterwards. Like, it's going to be hard. And when I say hard, I mean, fuck you for asking. That's a weird question to ask. Of course I can't do that. No, he's guilty already, period. Ain't nothing to talk about. This is ridiculous. We basically just giving him some free time in a courtroom. That's all he really want. We could just sit in here, play chess, whatever. I mean, he probably can't play chess. He don't seem like he know how to play chess. He seemed like the kind of guy that would eat the checkers on a checkerboard. You know what I'm saying? He look hungry.
I'm kicking myself that I didn't think to tell everybody to do this ahead of today's date, so we could have worked it out this afternoon rather than doing it on Monday. But that was my error. I probably should have thought of that, and I did not. So if the parties want to do that, they can do that. I will have some language that I work up as well to address that. Other than that, I just talked with a sergeant from the sheriff's department. In the past, Mr. Brooks has been transported directly here and not really held in the jail, even as a waiting position, until he's brought directly to court. And then generally he's whisked away. I don't know what their plan is. I've got some concerns that if we're going to be in trial, I don't know what the situation would be in the jail, but I have alerted a sergeant in the sheriff's department to my concerns to make sure that Mr. Brooks is going to be here every morning for trial, that we're not going to end up with him being housed somewhere else. But I don't know that's not something that I get involved in generally. I did just want to put it on someone's radar to make sure that we have no delays when it comes to that.
They'd be like, fuck you, we're taking you back to your cell at your place of residence. Darrell, look at you with your crease shirt, you know what I'm saying? Look pressed. He like, I press my shirt, you know what I'm saying? I was like, no, I'm saying. I gotta go in here and sit down and, be presentable, you know what I'm saying? You don't sleep. You sleep with a do-rag? Do you put the scarf on? Because that shit's looking, it's gonna dry out real fast. Darrell's gonna dry out real fast. It's gonna be bad. Oh, they're gonna be like, they just whisk him away. It's like, no, we ain't putting him in our little county jail. Fuck no. He is prison worthy, okay? He gonna sleep every night in a prison. I don't care if we gotta drive him here every morning. Fuck it.
Is there anything that think your motions in limine were pretty standard, Mr. Jones.
Uh-huh.
So you've both tried many cases in front of me.
Mhm.
Everybody knows generally how I run things and how things work. So I think they're standard motions in
This is
limine.
his
So they were
attorney.
along with the rules of how I do things.
What happened to his 2 black lawyers? Remember he had 2 big black dude lawyers. Where'd they go? Did they leave you? Darrell, did they abandon ship? Did they just run off? They were like, you know what? I can't with you. But he probably got rid of them when he was trying to. Yeah, I think he tried to get rid of them when he was trying to represent himself. And then I think they wouldn't let him represent himself. And so he got appointed another one.
Does the state have anything they want to specifically address on the record this afternoon?
Your Honor, the only thing that I want to address is I do anticipate filing an amended information. I have for a long time been very clear that if this proceeded to trial, that I would file charges of intimidation based on the calls that were made on particular days. And so I anticipate having a total of 6 charges for intimidation of a victim in the amended information. I will get that filed as soon as possible.
I know what that's about. That's about that thing, that transcript thing that we read from when he was in jail, from running over her foot. And he was like threatening her. You don't think I know people? If I want to get you touched, you would get touched. Like that. It's that, you know I love you, girl. Potential. What you can't be. You need to talk to them people. Keep your mouth shut. It's so funny. He said, you need to talk to them people. And then the next sentence is, keep your mouth shut. It's like, what do you want? Darrell, what do you want? So that I can do the fucking opposite, because fuck you.
But I have explained that both to Attorney Jones. I've explained that to previous counsel numerous times in communications on this case. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. I think on the charge in the underlying domestic violence case, we are going to be proceeding on amended charge of first-degree recklessly endangering safety rather than second-degree recklessly endangering safety. So we will have those charges amended. And if the court wishes, I can prepare the jury instructions over the weekend, if that helps with regards to the charges.
Okay.
And then my only other question is, would the court prefer having information with both cases joined in a single information, or having 2 informations with 2 cases? I can prepare it either way.
That is a CCAP protect issue that is above my pay grade.
Okay.
I think they probably need to be filed in each case. I'm looking at the back of my clerk's head, and she's indicating, yes, that would be better. So separate for the separate cases. Mr. Jones, do you want to be heard as to what Mr. Torbinson's statements or your own issues?
Yeah, let me respond to Mr. Torbenson first, and I have a few things I'd like to address. Mr. Torbenson indicated if it does not resolve with a plea, he would file an amended information and bring all the charges he thinks that he can prove, and that's not news to me, and it's not news to prior counsel. I have requested for Mr. Torbenson, I know I have it in writing somewhere, but I've made a request of him to put his offer in writing, because Mr. Brooks wants it in writing in an email, so we could just send it me one today with that.
Yeah, he wanted it in writing. I wonder if they really have made it so that he can't represent himself. Because if not, because Darrell has waited all the way up to the point of it, like at the pretrial thing before the thing, to where he decided to, tell his lawyers to go fuck themselves. He did that because he wanted them to have all the stuff for him to use already done. Because if he said he didn't want one, he would have to do himself, and he don't want to have to do that. So yeah. I wonder if that's still an option. Oh, what a surprise it would be if it come actual trial day and he is actually representing himself from the comfort of a wheelchair. Because he ain't going to be able to stay. He's already found guilty. He already got his sentence for the other stuff. So he ain't going to be able to walk around and stuff for this. He's going to be in that fucking wheelchair in his tan outfit.
Discussion.
Hopefully.
Mr. Brooks had some issues with potentially discovery at Boscobel. I'm going to provide him written or all paper discovery that I physically can get my hands on and give it to him also Monday, even though we sent it to him back in March. And I'm not saying Mr. Brooks is wrong. I'm sure the institution may have lost it, but we can deal with that. I have it all. I'm prepared. The one request, I made 2 requests. Number one, I think given the nature of this and the panel and the background, it would make sense if we started maybe at 9 o'clock. I have 2 quick appearances at 8:15 and 8:30 that I'd like to clear off. If we come in at 9, obviously I think if the 3 of us get together and decide how to deal with a joint statement, and I would prefer it to be issued by the court rather than the state or me, I think we could accomplish that in probably about a half an hour's time. If thing, I'm gonna make this request, and I don't know how much the court has the authority to do this, other than that you can make a request to the jail, but your request would probably be, received better than mine, even though I've made, inquiries. I know, or at least I've learned now, Mr. Brooks might be moving back and forth to the institution. I understand we can't control that. If at the end of every day of trial, I can have a deputy keep him in the bullpen for some period of time, half an hour, so I can at least meet with him in the bullpen, or if we can break at 4:30, so we can have someone till 5 o'clock, so I can have some time with Mr. Brooks after each day of trial. It may not be needed. I might say, hey, today that we don't need it, but I'd like that little bit of cushion because he's going to be physically removed, and I won't have the opportunity to do that. So maybe we break a little bit earlier than we normally would, so I would have that on days I might need it. Just sort of thinking ahead.
Sure, I think we can accomplish that.
You know, because I want as much communication with Mr. Brooks, obviously, as possible, but I understand I'm bound by the executive, or straight the executive branch in their,
Judge, it's probably too late for this as well, but I'm just taking in the size of your courtroom physically, and I'm wondering if there's any chance we could switch courtrooms just for jury selection even, because I imagine we're going to have a rather large panel for jury selection.
What I anticipated doing, and I think it probably is too late to plan a switch now, what I would anticipate is I can get 35 in, tight, but we can do it. We can have 35 people in here. And then if we are able to, let's say, seat 8 out of the 35, we will put them back in our jury room and bring a fresh panel of 35 over and do it in that way. I don't have any idea how long this is going to take, at the notoriousness of the Waukesha case. So wouldn't want to guess that one of the bigger courtrooms is going to accommodate it and it still doesn't, and have everybody move for those purposes. So I think we just kind of get as many as we can and then start with a new group. So it may take longer than usual. So we may do a couple process of picking a jury in piecemeal fashion. But we should.
Hey, Darrell, how you doing? Let me just sit here. I'm your side counsel. Darrell, what do you think we should do about this? Okay, they're gonna bring in a jury. Everyone's gonna already know you and hate you, of course, because those two things, they just go together. You know, what do you think that we should do? Are you gonna like kick that other counsel to the curb after he gets you some nice boxes of evidence and stuff and work done? You know. Let him talk for you and not do that stupid ass thing you did last time. But honestly, Darrell, does it matter anyway, right? High five. Darrell, what's going on with your what's this? What's this little what's this? Your bayangs. You know, you got bayangs now. You got not the bayangs, got the bayangs. Okay. You know, you gotta change it up sometimes. You know, Erica gonna be here. I heard she gonna bring her boyfriend. How you feel about that? No, for real, how you feel about that? If I had to guess, I think you're pretty pissed, but I mean, what do I know? You know. Okay. Stop fucking looking at me, you weirdo. It's fun to tinker with the Darrell.
Be able to accomplish it in that way. I think if we do run into issues, that may be the best way. So what I'm hearing from everybody is Mr. Torbenson has offered to put together the jury instructions. I appreciate that. And we will all work on what our idea of a statement looks like as far as what to tell the jury about this case, and that it is only this case they are to determine. Not anything else they may have know or heard or think or believe they know or any judgments they've made. And we will question people about that specifically. It's not going to be a general run-of-the-mill, you know, I assume you haven't heard anything about this. You haven't? Yeah. So we will take it from there. So everybody's going to bring that statement, and Mr. Torbenson's going to do the jury instruction. Is there anything more from the defense?
Judge, I have a scheduled meeting with Mr. Brooks tomorrow at 2:30. Apparently that's not going to occur because he won't be at the jail. I'm efforting to get a meeting with him at his institution when we.
I don't know that for sure.
Mr. Brooks is fairly confident of that. Either way, I've got the one set up at the jail. I'm going to try and set up the one at the institution, and hopefully, you know, one of them occurs.
Okay.
And if he can be brought over at 8 a.m. even, I will try and get down there. I mean, I'm just saying, once he's in your bullpen, I think that's, you know, a place that makes it easier for me to get to him. But we'll stay in communication and do what we can, I guess.
Okay. All right. Anything further from the state?
The only thing I want to add is that
to get to him. But we'll stay in communication and do what we can, I guess.
Okay. Anything further from the state?
The only thing I want to add is that I did tell the court and council and chambers. I have a homicide case.
What, the microphone? The internet? Oh, okay, so it's just the internet's down.
You laughing at, Darrell? That's laugh you got. Ain't that funny, Darrell? Well, your face and hairdo is, but other than that, Darrell, ain't nothing funny, Darrell. How are you liking the prison? How you liking the prison? Enjoying it? How's it going? Has Dawn written you a letter? Did any of your friends?
Right, so it says an unknown error, so now it's letting me start again. Let's see if Russ pops up. Hi, you're back.
I can see you.
Yes.
You're muted. I don't know if you can hear me.
Your mute is on.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I automatically ended up muted, but Mr. Brooks pointed out to me that I could unmute. So now we can hear you and you can hear us.
We're back.
Look at Darrell being helpful. Darrell, good job. Good job. Good job. Bow. You did one good deed for your whole life, and it happened to be just another one of your trials. You know, it is what it is. You know, you got to take it as you get it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Beggars can't be choosers, and Darrell's always losers.
Right.
Bars.
So,
The last thing I heard was Mr. Torbenson saying there's a homicide trial, has an emergency stay, and then he froze.
right.
I think it's unlikely for the stay to be lifted, and this should be the case that can go on Monday.
Okay. All right. All right, then I think we just stand ready to go on Monday, barring something else happening. Mr. Brooks, I don't know where you're going to be, but I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Mr. Jones said.
And that is how it ended. That's how it ended, because their Wi-Fi is not as good as Judge Darrell's room. Darrell. Hey, Darrell. I'm glad to see you back. Just ready to humiliate yourself one more good time. You know what I'm saying? Never give up on your dreams, Darrell. You gotta dream big. Definitely bigger than you, because you be little. I mean, you is looking real motherfucking little in this chair. You just a tiny little, you the littlest turd in the toilet. You know what I'm saying? You're like the tiniest turd in the toilet, okay? You're like the baby deuce. Darrell is a baby deuce. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Where your orange shirt at? How you gonna show up without your orange shirt? It's like you just rude. You just inconsiderate. You rude. It's terrible. Okay, that's enough of that. So apparently Monday they'll be back up, but I think they're gonna be doing jury selection. I'm pretty sure. So y'all behave, okay? Because I'm not gonna do it. Absolutely not. I'm looking forward to this here shit show, is what we call it around here. Okay. All right, but Mama love you. Yes, she do. Ooh, peace.